All right. So we've got a question here from Jesse from Sacramento.
Hmm.
And what was
Home of
your
the
favorite?
Deftones.
That's right. Hopefully Jesse got to experience them live on that adrenaline tour. Um, what was your favorite one-hit wonder song from the '90s, Craig?
All right. Well, I'm getting named two. One gets beat out, but I actually think Counting Blue Cars by Dishwalla ended up being underrated. I think people smashed that one because they weren't able to follow it up, but I thought that was just a phenomenal single,
I
just a
second
great
that.
song.
Great song. I still enjoy that song.
Yeah, I would put it on a mix or a playlist, no problem today. I can't even remember what era, what mini era that one came out during the 90s. I just
Well, it
remember,
was the late '90s because it was in that like post grunge era. So like we had this weird era where grunge was phasing out, and like we hadn't quite had pop, like hadn't quite taken over. The whole Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC thing hadn't quite happened yet, and that's you had like Dishwalla, Verve Pipe, Fastball, like all those kind of bands that were putting out music in that like late '90s post grunge era.
yeah. Well, remind me about fastball because we're going to do a bonus question. Um, but the real answer for me is "Got You Where I Want You" by the Flies, especially because I truly think that this one's underappreciated. I think that as everybody will nobody will admit to loving the song as much as they should, or at least wouldn't in the moment. It was from a soundtrack. Um, I'm trying to remember which movie. It was one of those
It
teeny
was a Katie
bopper
Holmes. It was a Katie Holmes movie, wasn't it? I feel like it
disturbing
was.
behavior.
Maybe that might be
I
it.
think it was disturbing behavior, but the song is just cool, just cool. It's memorable. It's you can sing along to it. It's a slower tempo than a lot of the other ones, but it ends up kind of jamming pretty hard towards the end,
Hmm.
even with that slow tempo. So I'm gonna go with, and then they spelled the band name Flys,
It
which as a grammar nerd always bugged me, but here we are.
was a really cool video too. That's like it's there's
Was
like a phase where like if I remember a video, like it had to have been pretty cool because like I've washed my memory of a lot of those. Like they all kind of run together, but I remember that video. It's very cool. My pick, and I'll also give a second place one just to make you mad because I think this is a band that you don't like at all, and I think you hated this song. Seven Mary Three, Cumbersome. I loved that song, but and I they had a couple. They had like what was that? Didn't they have a song like "The Water's Edge" or something like that? Like they had at least one other single that was kind of so
Yep,
maybe that wasn't a true one hit wonder, but
close.
Cumbersome was one that I used to just jam to in my car, like when that would come on the radio. But that's definitely not my pick. My pick is without question. This is probably the easiest question that got submitted for me to answer, and that's Space Hogs in the Meantime. This is the definition of one hit wonder. I couldn't tell you another Space Hog song. I know they even put out other albums, at least one other album. I'm sure I listened to it, but I don't remember anything from it. Uh, but in the meantime is just one of my all-time favorite songs in terms of how a song is constructed, the flows of that song. It has the memorable piano outro, which I think is probably the thing most people probably remember for it. But a great vocal melody in that song. I love everything about that song. I absolutely love that song.
Oh, and the guitar tone, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah.